Welcome back to Romantasy HQ, the pod. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, aspiring authors by night. Today we are covering the epigraph from Fourth Wing, Chapter 12. This is your warning. There will be spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you have not read all three books, it may be time to turn back. We are not rated E for everyone. Xavier has a degree in cussing, and he is not afraid to use it. And we will cover any and all adult topics covered in these books. We like a challenge, so we tackle each epigraph without prepping, placing it into the context of the entire series, not just the chapter or book it's tied to. But you don't have to take it cold, so here is our one-sentence summary of the chapter. Presentation gives Violet and Squad a glimpse of the 101 dragons willing to bond this year, including a tiny golden feathertail, eliminating two squad mates and giving us more lore about bonds and wards in the process. There are 6 minutes on the clock and more Fourth Wing lore than there are admirers of Mira's ass. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't let Taryn distract you. We have 360 seconds to blow your mind.
And go.
Presentation day is unlike any other. The air is ripe with possibilities, and possibly the stench of sulfur from a dragon who has been offended. Never look a red in the eye, never back down from a green. If you show trepidation to a brown, well, just don't. Colonel Kaori's Field Guide to Dragonkind.
I just still can't. I don't think this guy understands dragons. But that's probably not the biggest point of presentation day. The biggest point of presentation day is to not get torched. And looking at who gets torched, the dragons seem to have lots of options for why they don't like you.
Yes. I mean, I think he understands. It's like, okay, I think Colonel Kaori is dealing like with stereotypes where, certain colors behave certain ways and dragons as a whole behave certain ways. And it's very much like these stereotypes of dragons, and that's certainly not how dragons are any more than that's how people are. Like, there may be some commonalities that you share with similar people, whether you're similar because of your age, the generation you belong to, the profession you have, your religion, whatever is the similarity. There's similarities, but the similarities are probably uh, certainly not enough to justify the stereotypes that people have, uh, because people and dragons are individuals, and it feels like the Field Guide to Dragonkind is just dealing with that high level like stereotype. And so I don't think he knows dragons.
Yeah, I mean, like, what color was Solus again?
Orange.
He was orange. So, like, you know, Bade and Solus, I don't really feel like there's a ton of overlap there. I mean, and looking at the different colored dragons, I'm not sure like Terran and Coda are, you know, carbon copies of each other,
Oh, definitely not.
right? So
I mean, are all blues as snarky as Sigil?
probably not. But if they were, I'd like a whole series from just them.
Right.
Snarky blues. That sounds like a great
And
time.
certainly we know all Irids are not like Andarna.
Well, no, and Andarna is a perfect juxtaposition against the other Irids. How she is being raised is really impacting her views on things, how she believes, a dragon should behave, whether or not you were supposed to fight to defend other people or not fight at all, because the Irids are acting like pacifists, although I still really believe they're trapped and that they can't actually fight.
I think they have reframed their own history. Their narrative is something that they have reframed.
And I think they have a lot of magical powers, but I don't know that they're aggressive magical powers. So, how do you actually turn those dragon powers of stopping time or illusion into something aggressive? They're much more passive defensive powers. But circling back to presentation day, thinking you understand dragons and then walking in front of them is a bad plan. And as we talked about before, they don't seem to be saying you did great on the gauntlet. I'm not going to fry you. Uh, Based upon who we see get torched on presentation day, being arrogant and overconfident and a jerk is not a good idea.
No, and being skilled on the gauntlet. I mean, look at Sawyer. He survived the gauntlet, he survived presentation, and he still didn't bond. Um, Even though now we're gonna get to see him bond, which is super exciting because I love him. But the the things that and Pryor is the other one. He's not being arrogant, he's being so incredibly indecisive. He can't decide about anything, and he, can't make up his mind one way or another, and dragons apparently don't like that either. Although I am curious, like, do the different colors torch people based on different things, or is it just, like, universally acknowledged that, like, if you're an arrogant shit, you're gonna get no, because they
No,
didn't torch Jack, and
it's
I'm
it's,
sure he was being an arrogant shit.
it's universally acknowledged that a dragon at presentations in want of a rider.
The Austenite in me.
Sorry,
Uh,
that was way off topic. Anyway, uh, digging back into presentation, I think indecisiveness and overconfidence are associated with your risk of turning venom. And I'm becoming increasingly convinced as we are doing these epigraphs. And we're only on chapter 12, and I'm still increasingly convinced that a lot of the dragon activity is about venom prevention. It's about identifying people who, if they begin to channel, are at risk of choosing in the last moment to draw over die. And
mhm.
clearly the dragons are against the venom. And we don't have a good history on this. And I think maybe that's overly simplified, but they clearly are against the venom and don't want any more of them. So why would you bond a rider that has characteristics of someone who, in a stressful situation, would choose to draw from the earth rather than lose or die or lose their dragon?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, the kinda going along with that, though, is, like, if we know that they're being torched, as a kind of event in prevention. Oh, well, that's our time. Did we blow your mind? Let us know in the comments, and remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Remember, lore lovers, fantasy fanatics, and good girls, like, rate, review, subscribe, and share.